Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Daily Dose. My name is Garrett. I want to give you guys a word of an encouragement, food for thought, something that the Lord just kind of laid in my heart this morning as I was preparing this lesson. And as we are coming up to Easter, we're about to celebrate one of my favorite holidays, and that is Jesus rising from the grave. He conquers death, he conquers sin, and what a celebration that is. And I want to focus something on that happens just before he gets arrested, and it's the Passover feast in John chapter 13. He has a meal with his disciples, but he does something very, very unique and really important that I want to turn your guys' attention to this morning. And so I'll start in verse 1 in chapter 13. Before the Passover festival, Jesus knew that his hour had come to depart from this world to the Father. Having loved his own who were in the world, he loved them to the end. Now by the time of supper, the devil had already put it into the heart of Judas, Simon Iscariot's son, to betray him. Jesus knew that the Father had given everything into his hands, and that he had come from God, and that he was going back to God. So he got up from supper, laid aside his robe, took a towel, tied it around himself. Next, he poured water into a basin and began to wash his disciples' feet and dry them with a towel tied around him. What an act of humility to show to someone that they are more important. Jesus did normally what a servant or a slave would have done. That was their job, to do the dirty work, to get down in the dirt and wash all that mud and stuff off those people's feet as they came into the house. Jesus did that for his disciples to show to them how important they are to him, how much he loves them, and how more significant they were than him. And I want to talk about Philippians 2:3-4. It's one of my favorite Bible verses. I try to strive every day to live my life by it. And this is what it says in verse 3 of chapter 2. Do nothing out of rivalry or conceit, but in humility consider others as more important than yourselves. Everyone should look out not only for his own interest, but also for the interest of others. Man, today the world will tell us that it's all about us. It's about our success and what we can gain from this. And the Bible tells us the exact opposite. To stop for a moment. Don't think about what you want, but what everyone else around you needs and what they want. How important of a mindset that is to have, to be able to love others and not just focus on yourself all the time. And he says, something really stands out in verse 2 of John 13. It says, Now by that time of the supper, the devil had already put into the heart of Judas, Simon Iscariot's son, to betray him. Judas was planning already to betray Jesus, and Jesus knew it. But even despite that, he still gets down on his hands and knees, and he washes his feet. You can consider Judas basically Jesus' enemy. He doesn't have his best interest in mind. But Jesus does it anyways. What an act that we should forgive those around us despite what they've done. I mean, Judas betrayed Jesus so that Jesus would die. That is a huge act. I mean, to forgive that would be extremely difficult. But Jesus did it anyways. He moved aside, he washed his feet, and showed Judas that he was still more important than him. And I find that just really humbling. It's very unique. You don't see many people washing people's feet today. And in chapter 13, verse 15, it says this, For I have given you an example that you also should do just as I have done for you. Sometimes we might not know what to do. Sometimes we're like, I don't know how to handle this situation. But Jesus gives us the answer book right here. And for us to set aside all these things that are going on and all these things in our life, and if we don't know the answer, to search for it. Look in the Bible, because if we don't know what to do, we just need to read about what Jesus has done and live and model our lives by that. I hope you guys are encouraged. I hope you guys learned something new. I pray and encourage you guys to strive for humility. Find ways to count others more significant than yourself this week. And I hope you guys have a blessed week. Take care.